Self-care and parenting, it's not what you think. Put a yes if you were surprised by what we consider to be self-care in parenting and that it wasn't what you thought it would be.
Or any comment you have about what you're thinking about what we're sharing so far in
Mhm.
terms of how we are thinking about.
Your self-care.
Mhm.
I'm going back and forth about whether we should introduce ourselves again.
Maybe. We don't know. There might be new people here.
Yeah.
I'm Amelia Bolliard. Betty and I are business partners. Here's Betty Peralta to my left. And Children in Bloom is our shared practice. And we do a lot of the same stuff, including working in a domestic violence shelter, providing support for parents and children in transitions, big transitions, stressful transitions. And when we're not in the domestic violence shelter, we're assisting people with stressful transitions, big transitions, big movements in life, privately in their homes and with through organizations, online with coaching. And I go in a lot as a children's embodiment coach into homes with kids and help kids help assess for stress in children and help families find healthy, sustainable ways to support children offloading stress and secure their mental health a little more. I also do that in a preschool right now, supporting teachers and administrators and children who are meeting the challenges of life and wanting to have some really robust health, self-care and support.
And in addition to my working with uh, parents and children, so I don't work directly only with children. If I'm working with children, the parent is there as well. Um, and I'm also someone who goes in and let's see, that's not what I was going to say. I work with home visitors a lot, training and consulting, and their supervisors on children's behaviors and children's stress and parent stress. So that's us, right?
Mm-hmm.
All
Doing
right.
what we love.
Doing what we love to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So starting with you, did you try anything since we have seen you? Did you try anything from the first or second day that either worked or did not work? So we'd like to give you a little bit of time in your chat to let us know if you had any shifts, if you tried any tactics, and what was it like? And feel free to just put in, nope, not yet. That's fine too. Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your first foray into using these paradigm shifts to talk about your child in a different way with your parenting partner. Oh, gave myself permission to not be productive, to just be. Oh, how was that, Sally? Was it scary? Oh, or was it good? This is something that, it was delightful. That's great. This is the thing about learning new ways is that it can go either way. It could be delightful, it can be scary. Brain rewiring is kind of unpredictable in how you're going to take to it. So that's great that it was delightful. I'm glad to hear that. Anything you want to add before I?
Mm.
Okay. So the first day was modifying 5 of your mindsets. The second day was 5 methods for your family's madness. and today we're going to talk about 3 modules for your mental health.
5 modules.
Mhm.
All right. So we'll start with the what. And the question or the experiment is to imagine being able to say yes to these following statements we're going to show you by the end of the course. The following statements, the following 5 statements represent the 5 modules of our real-time self-care course. So imagine saying yes to, I take care of myself. I take care of my needs and emotions so that I can take care of my child. And this is from Module 1, meeting your needs in ways that benefit your child.
And imagine being able to say yes to, I know how to get ahead of my intense emotions so I can shift toward a positive interaction. And our module 2 is going to help you with that, getting ahead of your intense emotions.
3, I show up for my child's intense emotions in a way that optimizes their emotional development. Will be in Module 3, turning the hard emotions into joy.
4, I collaborate with my child so my child can cooperate with me. And that's for module 4, peeling off the problem-solving pressure.
Number 5, I have a nourishing community that holds my family in care. And that's Module 5,
Reaching out for community.
reaching out for community.
So if you have any reactions to these, any responses, please put them in the chat. If there's any of these modules that maybe stand out to you as something that you think would be helpful, we would love to know. The people who are taking this course are taking it for half off so that we can get lots of feedback and learn from you what touches your soul.
That's half off the what will ultimately be our standard fee.
Mhm.
So this is our time to collaborate with you and have you come in at a reduced rate so that we can kind of build together and have
Mhm.
your feedback and allow you to have the experience. So the why. Great parenting starts with parenting yourself because, sure, your child wants you to take care of yourself all day, every day. It makes them feel good to see you feel good.
Mhm. Your vibe, the vibe around you is 100% perceptible to your child. And if you're wondering, why are my kids acting this way or that way? And then you notice, oh, this is how I feel and it's affecting them. I mean, who hasn't experienced that, right?
And this desire we have for children to grow up in good health and have good tools and feel empowered to to have the lives we want for them, it starts with what we show them. So the reason they really want us to take care of ourselves all day, one of the reasons is they're saying, how do I do it? What does it look like? What am I going to do when it's my turn to make choices about how to proceed through difficult times?
Mhm. Children learn how to treat themselves by watching how you treat yourself. So there's a common refrain, children learn how to treat themselves, or like their inner voice comes from how you talk to them. But even more powerful is how you treat yourself, which is what Amelia was just talking about.
Mhm. Just imagine a couple of examples of you having an emergent need or just a need that presents itself and pausing and putting it behind and putting it to the side and becoming sort of uncomfortable versus pausing, noticing, and responding. What is it like? And you can say in the chat as we're speaking, what is it like when you imagine yourself doing these things? Does it feel accessible or does it feel like a big old leap?
So often our kids needs feel like they're very loud,
Mm.
very big, and that is often because of the motion behind their needs. And often that motion behind their needs has more to do with a reflection of kind of the societal pressure of moving quickly, the urgency, the ecosystem that you sit in as a parent.
Mhm.
And they can learn that their needs are important, but not urgent.
Mm.
They can learn that.
Mhm.
And we can help you and support you in doing more for yourself and letting your kids understand that their needs. Because when you respond urgently to their needs, they get the message, oh, my needs are very urgent. And if you respond to their needs with calm and, oh, I think I can actually take care of myself before I go get you that, whatever it is, then they get the message, oh, I can chill about my needs. I can be less
Mm.
panicked when you don't do what I say immediately.
You want to set your child up to have the best life they can. You can't parent well from an empty cup.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about that cup example yesterday, of imagining, some kind of container. And a way I like to think of it is when you put dish soap in a container, and how water, if you pour water in and in on top of dish soap, it eventually displaces all the dish soap and it cleanses the container of dish soap. So I think of dish soap as um, the we'll call it the good stuff in there. I went in the reverse order. We want there to be like this clear, refreshing um, well from which to share with children. But first you got to fill it up. First you got to fill it up. And when the stress is in there, it's the dish soap. And that is what we kind of gets stuck in and slows things down. Real dish soap is actually a pretty good example because it's viscous. And if you could, and you want to get it all cleared off, and how it feels when you get that sticky feeling off of yourself. So that cup, once that's empty, then once we get that dish soap out, we clear it with using some of the tools that we're talking about here. Then you have this cup that you fill with all of the self-care, all of the contributions you're able to make to your kid that feel good to yourself, the time, the lack of urgency, the just the increased peace. That's that full cup from which you can parent. But first, the self-care is how we get that cup cleansed of all the gunk.
You want to enjoy the process of parenting them. You want to look back and remember all these wonderful moments. And you want to, in the moment, be enjoying yourself rather than struggling all the time.
Mhm. And when you look back at your parenting, you want to feel good about your choices. And so often we hear people say to us, "I'm worried that I'm doing something that's harming my kid. I'm worried that I'm going to mess him up, and I'm going to look back at this and regret the choices that I made and wish I would have done things differently." So this answers that valid concern that is care-based and love-based that parents have. You want to be able to look back. And it's not that you'll look back and see that you did things perfectly, because this is not about modeling perfection or trying to attain perfection, but you'll look back and like that you discovered some options, and things felt better to you. When you didn't like how things felt, you were able to find your way to something that did feel better. And that alone is just such a relief when you look back and think, oh, I did my best, which is all any of us can ever do.
And your feeling good is an indication.
Mhm.
This is something that our society has not taught us, is that we actually do need to feel good. So, in order to know that we're on the right track, if you don't feel good, something's not right. And so, we want you to really get in touch with how do you feel so that you know when you're feeling good and you can say, this is actually something that I can look back and say, this is excellent. Oftentimes, we get this question like, what if my children um, hate me in the future for the choices that I've made? Or, what if I regret this or that? And the answer is what can we do so that you feel good now? Because when you feel good now, you're going to feel good later, looking back.
Mhm.
Please enter any questions as we go forward. So, of these whys, which one of these or ones of these stand out to you as your why for just even being here? Why did you take this course? What are any of these reasons why or take this seminar? Any of these reasons why you're here?
And if it's not on the list, but you have a different reason, please share it with us.
Yeah.
Sally, yes, saying, I want to have more experience understanding my own emotions and stress responses so that I'm authentic as I walk with other parents on their journey. That's beautiful.
And then Carolyn says, I want to enjoy parenting.
Yeah.
Good. Yay.
Enjoying the parenting process. Yes, Catalina.
Oh, it feels so good when you are enjoying it, right? Let's have more of that. Let's have more moments of enjoyment.
Yes, this generation of children are so different.
Yeah.
They are actually up for what is ahead. And we're going to help them right along to show up. All right.
Here's the best part. We will teach you ways to take care of yourself that calm, comfort, and delight your child. We talked about this in the first day. It's not us or them. It's us and them. And our self-care, our methods for self-care are here to help you feel better and help your kids feel better. It's a both and.
And we're teaching from our experience. We have gone through our own processes of determining what isn't sustainable in work with children and the work that we do, what feels good. We've had an opportunity to also glean from parents and discover all their, they share with us their findings. So we have this wellspring of resource, and we just want to distribute it and then add to it, have you add to it, and let it ripple out so that our entire community, and beyond is touched by this idea that we can take care, it's okay, there's a permission to take care of ourselves, that it's positive and helpful and healthy for children when parents take care of themselves, when caregivers take care of themselves, and really repair the narrative that somehow you're doing something wrong, or it's not a good idea, and that it's not good for your child for you to focus on yourself, for you to put your well-being first. You often hear the old put your oxygen mask on before you put that on of others. And even we'll share specific details, but the fact is the self-care alone helps increase comfort and calm and delight for your child. Just the way you resonate around your child when you have a yes to self-care in your own being really informs the interactions to some degree.
And we'll give you language to use with your child to help your child have that good feeling about you taking care of yourself.
I think that's my my favorite part is these really the language that I still sometimes wonder, maybe it's not going to land this time, but because it's the language that appeals to their hunter-gatherer nature, there's always a place for it to land, and you watch a child just emerge from wherever they were, from some shutdown, from some chaos. They emerge as interested and ready to move forward with you and your self-care.
Yeah, they love it.
They love it.
They love you taking care of yourself. Our approach. It's never too late to change how you parent. And we know how to teach where you meet where someone is and help them move to where they want to go. So sometimes people are afraid when they're taking a course like this that I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm not going to be able to follow the advice that they give. We meet you right where you are, and we'll talk a little bit later about how we do that.
Mhm. And we honor your pace. We've brought it home a couple times now that we're not into rushing. We're not treating things as if they're urgent. We're treating this course and its potential as if it's important, and very much treating you as if you are important, and what is happening in your life is important, and giving you the respect for whatever you determine is the way you need to proceed in terms of taking this course. There's no punitive element, there's no forcing, there's no cajoling. It's just really, in fact, our contribution in terms of teaching this course is to somehow be a part of your stress reduction, if we can, by creating a lot of ease and accessibility.
Yeah, so you might find that something comes up
Mhm.
and you're not able to, meet us when we are going to be meeting, or you're not going to be able to turn something in. Usually it's like a sentence that you would
Mhm.
turn in.
Right, right.
Um, and we get it. And it's l- these kids make life really unpredictable. And so
Mm,
we just honor wherever you are and whatever's happening in your life.
mhm.
And we have the course would be available to you for a full year. So you can just kind of stay in it and stay steeped in it and come in and out as you need to.
We will take you through these lessons step by step and surround you with a community to cheer you on. Not unlike what we're saying here, step by step, right? We're not, one of the things that we appreciate about one another and the work we do is we get to respond in real time and honor who's in the room and the different learning styles just based on our willingness. So we get to go, we're not going to dump a bunch of stuff on you and say, take it home, figure it out, and come back. We get to really break things down, play with them. We get to discuss them. You get to ask lots of questions. We get to we do some role playing, which is pretty fun. And just making sure that, for one, the way that we are presenting this information to you is palatable and feels reasonable. And then, of course, there's this community of other parents and ourselves included. We're part of the community that supports you. But we're with our Children in Bloom community, we're really intentional about connecting you with people who you can share your stories with, share your experiences with, share ideas with, so that that difficulty in our community where parents are kind of trying to make it up from scratch out of nowhere as they go along, that we eliminate that element and you just feel like, oh, I know what to do. I've got all these people. I've got all these ideas. I've got all this access. Yeah.
And then we will be providing regular coaching sessions and lots of opportunities for you to ask questions and say things like, what about this? And well, I tried this and this is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And now what do I do? And we'll celebrate your wins with you. We love to hear what worked, what felt good. Yay, Sally, for just being. That is such a win. And then process those challenges.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to now get deep into the modules and what each module looks like.
And just, are there any questions quickly
Yeah,
so
so
far?
far.
Any questions about what we've shared in terms of the what, the why, our approach?
Welcome, Marie
Hi,
Celeste.
Marie Celeste.
No, let's see. Let's turn up this volume so I can hear you. Hi, you two.
Hey, Marie Celeste is coming on. When we're finished with these slides, Marie Celeste is going to talk about one of the components of this course. So thanks for coming in, Marie Celeste.
You're welcome, Betty.
So the first module we talked about, you're being able to say this yes to the statement, I take care of myself. So we're going to learn how and practice teaching your child to value your needs as much as you value theirs. So we teach them through first valuing them yourself and modeling that. And it doesn't really take long for them to value your self-care, as we talked about earlier. Once you have the language that feels good to them around it, they are so gung-ho to have you take care of themselves. It's kind of exciting to them when they see you caring for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Learn how and practice matching your expectations to fit your child's development. So this natural position that we take as parents and caregivers to get our children involved in lots of things and hope that things turn out the way we like, there is some support needed around that adjustment to seeing where your child really is and adjusting the expectation so that it honors your child's interests, their capacity, their resilience, those nervous system settings we talked about yesterday, being able to look and realize, oh, my child is in the blue. My expectations are going to need to adjust to honor the fact that this person is in the blue or the red or combo. And that I find is something that does help. It needs a lot of practice and a lot of ideas to help you feel empowered to respond. And that is something that we really enjoy exploring with you.
But this is a true self-care, is when you look at the outside world, including your child, and match your expectations to it. It's so much less stressful to see your child as they are and accept them as they are before you help them get to where they want to go, just like we're going to do with you. It is so much less stressful.
We do practice everything we teach ourselves. These methods that we will share with you are the same methods we're using in our relationship as partners in this business and in our teaching of others. And it's just so effective. There's no place it doesn't create some reasonable, some tools, some solutions, some access to some ease when ease is needed.
And I will tell you, one of the things that really gets us upset and gives us big emotions as parents is the mismatch between where a child is and where we think society thinks they're supposed to be. And we feel like a failure when they're not where society thinks they're supposed to be. And when we align our expectations, you're just a child. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to do as a child. Just like we talked about hunter-gatherers doing. Huge reset for yourself and your emotions. Like once you're able to just see your child as they are, a lot of that rage goes away.
So the other way to get to this, yes, I take care of myself, is that you'll learn and practice catching your emotions before they get too big and identify strategies that work for both you and your child to turn irritation and rage, withdrawal and anxiety into joyful interactions. And, that learning and that practicing catching your emotions in part has to do with that pie we showed you yesterday. You'll have a relationship to noticing when you switch into a different awake state, that you are feeling blue and your body is adding red and now you're anxious, and establishing how to respond to those moments when you have a need that would otherwise go unmet if you don't notice that you have a need, if you don't feel a permission and a yes to how you want to meet your needs. So, emotions get big because needs go unmet. It's the more the feeling wants, those emotions come to drain the lake, to like get this out. And we often in our society encourage people to bypass their emotions because they're uncomfortable, because they take up time, because they require energy, and because they're uncomfortable. So you're going to feel your emotions, but you get to catch them before they become this thing that feels daunting, where you don't feel like you have an appropriate tool to tend the need that your nervous system, that your wise nervous system is presenting to you. And that is, those strategies will work not only for you, but they'll work for your child. And part of that is that wisdom where it feels good, that yes, where the body's saying this is the right thing. And you can feel it. Each of us has had an experience interacting with our child in a way that we walk away and question what we just did. And maybe there could be some guilt or some shame or some lingering frustration. And the difference with these strategies is that there's this like, phew, that's so much better. I feel so much better having just used that strategy, that approach toward myself and with my child. And you actually sleep, there's better sleep at night. There's improvement in the quality of the relationship with your child. So it might be it might sound like a jump, but rage and withdrawal and anxiety, all of those benefit, all of those experiences are well met by these strategies that we help you discover for how to notice what it is your nervous system needs, and then how to respond in a way that is sustainable, accessible. These are not unreasonable tools. They are not magic tricks, although they can feel quite magical.
Yes. All right. I need to move the chat again.
Yeah.
Over to this side,
Zoom's
maybe.
gotta fix this.
Yeah, I know. This needs to
Come
be.
on, Zoomy.
That's a really good idea. I
Yeah.
like that idea of fixing that.
Uh-huh.
All right. So that was module 1. You're being able to say yes by the end of this course, and actually probably not by the end of the course, but just by the end of module 1. You can say you can say, yeah, I take care of myself. And then module 2, we think that you'll be able to say yes to being able to get ahead of your intense emotions. And we talked about this in the last module, and it takes lots of practice. Learn to match your expectations to your child's development. And here we'll look at a little bit more about your child's development. So your understanding of child development is a big protective factor, is what they're called in my field. And we will give you more information about that and their emotional needs and why you should be expecting them to do what they do.
We talked about learning to catch your emotions early. We discussed biomarkers a little bit yesterday, sensations in the body, a sudden feeling of fatigue or a stomach ache. Some people get stomach aches, some people get a slight headache. Suddenly light is too bright, sound is too loud. There's ways that your body communicates with you that things are amping up. And so when we're in urgency, when we're rushing and putting our children first, there's not a lot of listening and attuning with what's happening with our bodies and what needs are being presented. And so this will, in order to say yes to getting ahead of your intense emotions, we will help you identify and become really accustomed to the language of your body, the language of your nervous system when it's alerting you to a need. And then the appropriate tools to respond.
And the practice of pause.
The pause. The pause.
The practice of pausing, because our society does not encourage pause. And so you need lots and lots of practice to pause when you notice those inner body cues.
Yeah, and I just want to reveal one of our secrets. It's one that I use. I actually say to people, I'm going to pause. And just say the words, I'm going to pause. Now, that took several years for me. It'll be different for other people, but it's a part of my practice now. Every day, Betty can attest, every day, multiple times a day, I'm going to pause. And that pause is a yes in my nervous system, and it regulates my nervous system. And imagine doing that with your child, how that impact it has on you and what it would be like for your child to start to be able to rely on you taking pauses, being able to anticipate that good feeling that comes, that positive association with you pausing to attune with yourself.
And she did that by herself. I'm going to pause. She taught herself to do that. imagine doing something new like that in community where
Mm.
you're all talking about the
Mhm.
same thing
Mhm.
and supporting each other through your own stories. That is more of a fast track of learning these skills, is being able to do it in community.
Mhm. Mhm.
Learn how to model healthy emotional expression for your child. My favorite joke, some of you may be tired of it by now, is that children learn in three ways: by example, and by example. And if you want your child to go breathe when they get upset and you don't do that, if you want your child to hit a pillow or scream at a pillow, you need to do that.
If you want your child to be authentic and feel safe to reveal their needs when they have a need, you'll need to do it.
Yeah. So we want to support you in building those skills and habits of noticing what's happening inside and knowing when it needs to be expressed and knowing how to express it in ways that are going to make your child go,
Mhm.
or giggle,
Mhm.
or crack up laughing.
Mhm.
All of those are great responses of your child in your expressing emotion with no blame, no shame. That is the key to expressing emotions healthily.
I show up for my child's intense emotions in a way that optimizes their emotional development. So imagine, yeah, we talked about how you're going to get to this. Yes, I show up for my child's intense emotions in a way that optimizes their emotional development.
Now the chat it'll give us an indicator if
Oh,
somebody
that's
put something
lovely.
in the
Let's
chat.
end on that.
Learn you in module 3, you'll learn what to do with your child's intense emotions to enhance their development. How can you respond to your children in ways that clear their traumas, that heal trauma, that heal their emotional upsets, that help them feel more competent in their emotional development, that help them stay connected with you despite the conflict, and that give them a sense of autonomy. Those three things that we talked about on day 1.
Mhm. Learn how to use play to prevent intense emotions and transform them. And this use of the word prevent is not that emotions will cease to exist, but that intensity that they get to when the need feels unmet in the child, that is the part. It's basically preventing the result of the feeling of an unmet need in a child. So using play to prevent these intense emotions and transform them. And this is, one of my favorite parts of this work is how to support parents in identifying where play can be included or introduced in difficult moments. And you'd be surprised how early on we actually bring in some levity in difficult times. We first, of course, honor that the child is in an emotion, but the value of play, since children are wired to learn with using play, right? So you're really appealing to their nature, to their wiring, to their innate wisdom when you introduce play to these moments where they have this unmet need. And you have to use that Wi-Fi analogy again, you have a child who goes from 0 bars of Wi-Fi to maybe 1 or 2. And you're nearing this collaboration that's ultimately the goal, and the cooperation that can be the result of that.
Learn how to repair with your child in ways that work for your child. So you know how sometimes you want to repair with your child and you try to sit them down and you say, remember when this happened and I want to apologize, and they look the other way and they want to get out of this conversation because it's too heavy and too uncomfortable and too much. And we are going to help you make those repairs that you want to make in child-friendly ways.
And these repairs do not feel like swallowing gravel. Sometimes saying sorry is a difficult thing. Sometimes we're not ready. And the beauty of the type of repair that we teach is that it actually feels really good. to state the words. The repair honors your experience, your position in the interaction with your child, which, as a person who used to have a hard time saying sorry, I have really needed. So I can't wait to introduce that. Pretty powerful stuff.
So that's module 3, showing up for your child's intense emotions in a way that optimizes their emotional development. And now we're on to 4.
Mm-hmm.
I collaborate with my child so my child can cooperate with me.
Mm-hmm.
Peeling off the problem-solving pressure, your feeling of,
Mm-hmm.
I need to help this child. I need to solve this problem for them.
Mm-hmm. Learn how to trust your child to learn from experience rather than lecture. So in the first 2 days, we kind of talked about the fact that children are wired to learn experientially, to get in there and try things and feel things and experience things from their center, where then it is retained and maintained, so they have that wisdom to draw from when they need it. But learning how to trust your child to learn from their experience can feel like a risk to parents. It's like, what if I don't do my part and they get hurt? What if I don't do my part and they get in trouble? So go ahead.
What if they never learn?
What if they never learn? And the lecture comes typically with some urgency, like I've got to drive this home right now. And it comes with sometimes some strictness and even can incite fear in children. And when those elements of strictness and fear and urgency come up, the child's Wi-Fi, as I've been calling it, their executive function, their ability to hear, understand, absorb, process, that is shutting off. They're not there. They're just in their bodies and they need something else first. So that means that we're going to need to also, as parents, be supported in how to get into our own safety around trusting children so that we can help them. We can allow them to learn from their experience, be regulated ourselves as adults to support them as they discover things. And when they meet bumps in the road, also support them in a healthy way. Like, oh, it didn't turn out the way you thought or I thought. Let's explore this together. And again, a learning experience that stays with your child that they can draw from in your absence.
I remember a time I was lecturing and my child went into the blue zone.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, oh, there's the indication that the Wi-Fi went off. I'm not getting anywhere with my child while I'm doing this lecturing. Let me pull back and reassess, try another way so that I can keep my child in green when we are in this kind of communication. Because that's your North Star. Remember, green zone is your North Star. If you're doing something with your child that puts them in a stress response, time to do a reset, time to do a redo, time to do a replay. You never have to worry about making mistakes because there's always that rewind button. It's always there for you.
Go ahead.
Learn how to use relating and reflection to teach rather than correct your child. So we talked about hunter-gatherers not correcting children. Rarely do they, in the moment, tell them that they're doing something wrong and need to correct it. Instead of that, they expect their kids to be as the kids. They expect them to do what they're doing because children are supposed to make lots of mistakes because that's how we learn. And then later, maybe at bedtime, maybe at dinner, we can bring it up and ask reflective questions or relate our experiences of, this happened to me one time and this is what I did or this is what happened through story. So we're going to help you shift toward using story and using reflection instead of correction.
And learn how to move from compliance to collaboration to solve problems. And this again relates to those nervous system states, wanting a child who is ready for a challenge, who can stay in listening, who can stay in connection with you, who has those regulating elements at play, right? Of connection, capacity, autonomy being honored. when we use a compliance model with kids, we're very much triggering them into basically a threat response. It's like, I'm in trouble, things are serious, safety is reduced, and they go into fight or flight or shutdown, as opposed to going into their own curiosity and their own, that what I've been saying about a cliffhanger, how kids love a cliffhanger. So when we come in to collaborate with children, when we say, hey, I was wondering, I was remembering what happened. I wondered, what do you remember? What did you experience? What do you think about it? Then you have a child who, regardless of the topic, is much more likely to have a sense of safety and be emotionally engaged. Children have to feel emotionally engaged to have a real desire to participate, and for their nervous systems to say yes to participating, which amounts to collaborating or cooperating with the adults around challenging topics. Some of that stuff is hard to talk about. Hey, you broke something today. You fell down, you lost something that was valuable to somebody else. How do you talk about things with children that typically would bring up shame or guilt or fear in a way that without shaming, without getting into the compliance, like, don't ever do that again. What were you thinking? You're not allowed to, you're not going to get to do that anymore because you created this outcome. That is where we're requiring compliance of children, where we're taking them away from their happiness components, their autonomy, they're exploring their capacity, they're feeling safe in their connection. So we want to collaborate with them instead of forcing them to comply. And in that collaboration, they end up getting this sense of like, oh, I am curious. I'm curious about what I'm going to do differently next time as a child to not break that thing, to not lose something. And that's one of those moments in parenting that you might find yourself looking back on and saying, oh, I'm really glad that we got to try it that way, as opposed to in going with the compliance model.
Yeah, Module 4 is the culmination of all of the groundwork that you made to get to a place where you are ready to truly give your children those three things: the connection in hard moments, the autonomy that they so crave, and that sense of competence through, as we talked about yesterday, productive struggle. And you're supporting them emotionally while not doing it for them.
Did I say capacity?
You did.
I switched capacity.
It's the same thing.
I switch them in and out. So if I say capacity, but the three official are competence and autonomy and connectedness. And it is about their capacity. Their competence is where they feel like, I can do things. And we can all relate. We can all relate to how happiness is a result of some freedom, feeling like you're making progress and you can achieve things, and knowing that you have healthy connections and support. I have a nurse, so this is module 5, where we are inviting you to have us support you to be able to say yes to, I have a nourishing community that holds my family in care. And that's reaching out for community is the theme of module 5.
Parents in our society are so isolated for the most part. And we want to, we don't feel like a course without this is responsible. Like, it feels irresponsible to not give you tools and support in finding support for your family and finding community for your family, and talking about that and sharing about that and working on that together.
Learn how to expand your community to a just right amount for you. Oh gosh, this one is really important. Not all of us are group people. Not all of us want to go to big parties and be in crowded spaces. Others of us do not thrive unless we are making many connections, having a lot of different, a variety of influence and ideas, and just the different styles and fragrances and flavors of connection. So we want you to be able to expand your community in a way that we talk about this space of yes, that honors that space of yes, where your whole being can say, okay, yes, this is good for me. This is what I need. This is what I want. And so you feel inspired to reach into your community and go ahead and allow yourself to draw from it. And others, and it will feel good to you as people come to you and draw from your experiences as well.
Get tips and support on both breaking the ice in new encounters with people as you find people for community, talking about how to do that, and then also in sustaining the community. When you have children, your values skyrocket in importance. And when other people don't share those values, it's very hard to stay in community with them. And so we want to just support you in making those decisions about the relationships that you form, how to create them, but then also how to sustain them, whether to sustain them, etc. We just think it really does help to have a community thinking with you about these awkward situations that come up both when you are first meeting people and when you get conflicts in relationships. I think we all can use support in conflicts in relationships, but then when you have children involved, that becomes even more important. So we just want to you to have that support.
And if you're an introverted person, we've got you covered.
Yeah.
We've got you covered.
Yeah. So how do we hold you in the course? One of the things we do are coaching calls, and you will have 2 a month. And in these coaching calls, we will start with a lesson and then have you interact with us. So it won't be like this webinar situation where we cannot see you and you cannot unmute and talk. We're going to have Zoom calls where we will be able to interact much more freely.
Are they going to be with both of us? One of us at a time?
Both of us. That's what we decided.
Yeah.
And the next thing is community of practice reflection groups. And this is where you will be with someone, not us, but another person in our Children in Bloom staff. So you would meet to not get questions answered, but to ask your own questions and have listened to other people's questions and stories about how things are going for you in your parenting. We also have 3 with me groups, and that's your buddies, those people who you call on. You would meet with them regularly and just have your people that you can text or call in times when you just need some support. And then we'll have the Children in Bloom Community Forum where you will announce the your challenge outcomes and your wins and your challenges. So that is in a description of the course for you. We hope that you find it something that you would like to embark on with us, because we so are eager to support you in this way and think that having a course as opposed to these individual coaching calls, for some people, you might just want coaching calls. Other people, having a course where you have a community around you and things are more structured and sequenced might be just the thing. Thank you to those of you who stuck with us. All right.
Yeah, thanks so much for being here. It's going to be exciting to see who comes along on the ride along with us on the course. And my last thought is just that Betty and I, when we finish seminars like this or we do our work, we often have a high five and say, that was fun, and it's not because it's not serious. We don't take it seriously. It's not because it's easy, even although there is some ease in it because we are called to this work and we enjoy it so much, but it's because we get to practice what our values through this work. And I think that infuses our course and our relationships with people that we work with something that I call medicine. There is a healing element to this, just by being present. And if you just move on from here and we don't see you again, we're so grateful that you came through, and know that we're here, and we're here if you need us, and know that we're accessible.
Right, everyone, take good care, and we'll see you some way, somehow.
Mhm. We wish you lots of joy.
Yes, we do. All right, bye-bye, everyone.
Hi there, my name is Talia Klein, and I am an intern working with Amelia and Betty, and I've been working with them for a couple years now, studying the NRF and Indigenous wisdom. And I just wanted to introduce myself and share a little bit about my story. I have a son who is neurodivergent and is dysregulated at best all the time. His nervous system is so different and unique that if he had his way, he would like to co-regulate with me 24 hours a day, every single day. And we do that a lot. And I am so thankful that I have learned tools to help manage my own stress and exhaustion and frustration and grief and all the feels through working and learning about these amazing techniques. Prior to meeting Betty, I was killing myself trying to be just a great present mom all the time, and that is not sustainable. And so it is of the utmost importance to learn how to take care of yourself in the moment, because these little bodies, these little nervous systems, these little humans that depend on us. And when we're tired and stressed and feeling overwhelmed, that energy just gets put right on to them. And so I am so glad that you all are here and you're all taking this seminar to learn how to better adapt to stressful situations that will inevitably arise multiple times a day, because it's really the only way to make it through and to have meaningful, loving relationships with your families and the people you care for. I am sorry that I can't be on the seminar with you all right now. Hopefully in the future I can, but my little buddy is with me all the time, and I can't do anything else when I'm with him. So anyway, he had decided that he wanted to be on the video and say hello to you all, but then he changed his mind. So yeah, so I wish you all the best of luck in this journey, and know that Amelia and Betty they're amazing, and take as much as you can from this seminar, and it will help immensely. So best of luck.